Now we're onto the weighing stage. So what we'll need for this next step is going to be Body Slide and Outfit Studio, which you can find on the Nexus page of Nexus Mods under the Fallout 4 section. Sometimes it'll be under Skyrim or Skyrim Special Edition. It doesn't really matter. You're just going to need that. So you're going to download it, and you're going to see, after everything's said and done, depending on whether you did it manually or through Nexus Mods, Vortex, whatever your installation method is going to be. You're going to go to Tools. Maybe I have it. Sorry, it's been a while since I've had to think about this. So, right. So wherever you've installed it via Skyrim or Fallout 4, you're going to look for outfitstudio.64.exe. You're going to click it up. And you're going to see this pop up. It's going to be a blank page, obviously. So we're working on a male body. So if you downloaded the entire file that I'll be sending you later, where is... You'll see full female and full male body, which is going to be the same body that we're using in this blend, which while I'm here, I'm going to delete that. Going to export everything as an object. It doesn't matter what you name it as, just name it something. So we've got Outfit Studio primed up. I'm going to go to import from Nif. I've got the full male body ready to go. It's in Skyrim Special Edition. That's fine. Right. So if you have multiple setup paths of different Bethesda games, these are the ones that are compatible with Outfit Studio. You can switch it from Special Edition, Fallout 4, New Vegas, Fallout 3, whatever. We're working on Fallout 4. So after you switch, like, for instance, earlier I was on Skyrim Special Edition. I'm switching to Fallout 4. You're going to hit OK. You are immediately going to exit out and reopen, because if you do the weighing process after switching over and you finish your work, it will be bricked, because it cannot make up its mind as to whether or not you were working on Skyrim or Fallout 4 or whatever you were switching to. So always switch out and reopen Outfit Studio when you switch from one program to another. So again, I'm going to go to File, Import the NIF, and the full male body. Now you might be asking, how did I get the full male body out? You're going to go to the Nexus page again, download the Bethesda Archive Extractor, or BAE. Get a joke out of your system. Good? Perfect. You're going to go to File, after you've downloaded everything using BAE, and you're going to go to the Fallout 4 data folder. And you're going to look for the Fallout meshes. After that, you're going to hit select none and just type in male. I'm going to enlarge this a little bit. So you're going to see a bunch of stuff pop up. What we're looking for is going to be under meshes, actors, character. We're going to open that up. And we are not looking for that, actually. No, get out of there. Not looking for hair. Not looking for morphs. We are just looking... There we go. So we've got the base female head, the base male head .nif. You're not looking for try controls, the blinking, and everything else like that. We're just looking for the general body parts, and that's going to be right here. So after you've got everything selected and checked off, you're going to hit extract. It's going to give you an option. You're just going to hit select folder right here, and that's basically how you extract everything, which I've already done helpfully earlier. So as you can see, it's got the same kind of weird setup as Blender with the eyeballs and everything else. So I'm going to delete the rear part of the head because we're not going to need that. Instead, I'm going to right click on the base male head and go to set as reference. Now you can see everything changed a different color. This is just gray, that's green. Now when I set it as reference, it turned green. The reason being is that it's telling me, and I'm hitting T to turn off the textures to get a better visibility. Everything that's colored green is what's weighed. So as we can see, the face part of it is weighed in that reddish color. This area, different little bits. So that's all. It's just letting you know what's in there. So now that we've got that started, I'm going to go to import from the object. We're going to find the mesh files that we just exported from Blender. And as you can see, everything is going to be starting to import. So ideally, you don't want these pieces to be these long, complicated names. So I would generally rename them while I was in Blender. I should have did that earlier. I didn't really think about it till now. Because I don't know, because everything is so condensed. What actually everything is. So I'm actually going to save myself a little bit of trouble, because certain things really do need to be weighed differently, and certain things are going to need to be combined depending on your OCD level. Like for Skyrim or Fallout New Vegas, you have what's called environmental maps. So Fallout 4 handles it a little bit differently. I haven't really delved into it, but certain parts of the metal, like say this was a bronze color. In Skyrim, you could use the same environmental map that the Dwarven armor does to give it that Dwarven metal shine. So certain things would need to be segmented, because obviously you don't want the clothes shining like it's metal. It's clearly not. And that's my cat, so please excuse her if she starts to yell, because she's spoiling for attention. Same thing with the fabric. You don't want the fabric to be all shiny with metal, or you don't want the metal shining like, or not shining, when the rain will hit it, you don't want it looking like the metal is just some weak tissue paper. So right, I forgot to begin that process. So as you can see, I've got everything right here. The orange part is the part that's going to be named after I join it, so I'm going to hit Control J, and now everything is all one piece. Okay, so it looks like, yeah. Whoops, 1 second. Now, as you're combining things, make sure that the material matches up, because if I try to combine the arms with the torso, by the time that I try to apply the textures, it's going to be very, very odd. It's not going to work as it should. So I'm going to hit Tab, A, P as in pencil. I'm going to hit by material. What that just did was separate the arms from the chest to make sure that they are being correct. I'm going to do the same for these little legs here, because these obviously match up to the same material. If you get the double check, you just repeat the same process. Obviously, nothing got segmented, so it means it worked. So, right. So, I would normally, again, segment everything else to reflect how I want it to be. But in the interest of time, I'm not going to do that. And actually, I'm going to just get rid of the cloak because cape physics are... I would hesitate to even actually call them cape. It's more cloth physics than anything else, and even then, it's a little strange the way Fallout 4 handles it. So we're not going to get into that because that is an endeavor and a half, about the same as fiddling around with those hands, and I do not have a good record with cloth physics, so we're just gonna ignore that for now. Instead, import everything into Outfit Studio, and as we can see, it is applied correctly. I don't have to worry about any wonky see-through colors because the meshes were applied and cleaned up as they should. So we've got the head selected as the reference. So what that means is the helm, neckpiece, and the clothes are all going to need to be weighed. So I'm going to hold Control and left click each of these pieces. I'm going to right click, copy bone weights. You're going to see some numbers pop up along with some check marks. Just hit OK. You're going to do that again. You're going to see down right in this little area right here a green mark go off. Depending on your desktop setup, it might take instantaneously. It might take a little bit of time. So off the bat, a few things need to be adjusted because the helm didn't get weighed completely, and certain things did get weighed that we don't really need, such as this neck and the chest. So we're going to go to brush settings here, left click. I'm going to grab this little slider right here under strength, turn it way up. Do the same for the size, turn that way up. And we're going to hit Alt and hold Alt and left click. And as you can see, everything went away. But on the head, we are going to paint it red. Do the exact opposite of paint it black, paint it red. Same thing with the head skin, we're going to take that off. Just needs to be head only. So what this means is that when your character has their helmet on, the only thing that is going to be moving is going to be this part of the head. Now I could paint the bottom area of the helmet neck, but then we'd have certain areas stretching around, and we don't really want that. The neck piece we can pretty much just leave. It's not hurting anything to be as it is, so we can generally just ignore it. I will actually paint this just full blown neck. Yeah, we'll leave that as is. So we don't need the head anymore. So we're going to delete the head. We're going to go turn the body on, phrasing. We're going to hit set reference. And from there, everything from the arms to the clothes, we are going to copy the weights of. Then we're going to do the same for the gloves using the hands. We don't need the hands anymore. We are only going to need the body. You might be asking why. We're going to hit Control E, which is going to try to export the model, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to get a warning, which is going to say that they're going to have unweighed vertices, which means you see those black smudges. Those mean, just like the helmet earlier where we had to paint this entire area colored, that means that everything did not get weighed accordingly. So what I like to do is I like to move the reference model either forwards or to the side. In this case, I'm going to do it to the side, so I'm going to enter 100. And I'm going to compare to what I've got. So we're going to start down the line. I'm going to hit Control E again. I'm going to look for black smudges, and right off the bat, I can see that it looks like the upper part of the arm did not get applied correctly. So I'm going to turn down these brush settings just a slight bit. I believe it's going to be Yeah. So we're just gonna fill in the blanks a little bit. Just rolling it down. You can pretty much guess what needs to be fiddled with based off of just examining it. Obviously, this part needs to be applied. Same for this little smudged area. Not there. Hand's fine. So you know you've done it correctly because obviously the hands, or the arms, are not showing up. So we have to do the same for the clothes. Now, as you're applying the... Actually, for the clothes, you generally just want to, for this upper twist and everything, just Alt turn it off. It's too stretchy. It will stretch into and pull as if this was being pulled onto your clothing, and it will look very strange. So, twist, you can generally just get rid of. Because the clavicle will handle that area way better than the twist will. Oops. Kind of jerked a little bit. So, we're going to go down the line. We're going to paint this chest rear, because that was one of the areas that needed to be touched on. This head area. The parts of the neck, you just generally want to turn this area right here, head and neck. Obvious, I know, but it's one of those things where you'll routinely forget to do it if you're not careful. So just try to keep it as a habit. All right. Believe chest skin, yep. So as you can see, as I'm applying it, or clicking on the parts that are weighted, this is popping up. So I have a cheat sheet, if you must, telling me, okay, this needs to go there. Now, you might be wondering what the colors are. So the more darker red or whatever color it is, the more extremely it'll be programmed to respond to. I find it's kind of unnecessary at times. Unless you paint everything blood red, it's not really going to impact it as much. So, yeah, just go wild. You'll figure it out in due time. What needs to basically look what kind of color. We've got everything combined right now, so it's not really going to matter, because this is just a basic setup at the moment. Probably could get away with just covering that like so. This is probably the most annoying stage of the weighing process, is just trying to find that elusive black mark, because it is not at all highlighted in a way that it's like, oh, it's on the leg, it's on the thigh, it's on the whatever. It's just literally guess and check. So sometimes it'll be in very obvious places, and sometimes you will literally have to go right into the body and go check out. Which I just had to right there. So that looks like that's going to be the chest area. Yeah, that was correct. Still not done. So it means pelvis is going to be needing a bit of a checked up on. So the way I just turned it in, this is solid mode, this is off, this is wired. Wired is going to make it easier when you're doing what we're doing right now. So this area right here needs a little bit of TLC as well. So you'll have to... Ooh, sorry about that. You'll have to rotate the model as best as you can, and just generally just try to find the afflicted areas. Usually pelvis is the main problem with these Destiny models, right in this area right here. So I should be able to get away with... Yep, that's it. So as soon as I hit Control E, I got no warnings whatsoever. That means the model was weighed and applied correctly. So you don't really have to do what I'm doing, which is I'm putting everything within the meshes and armor folder. You could pretty much just put it in meshes and name it whatever. I have everything within a Destiny 2 folder, so I try to keep it as neat as possible. So after that, you gotta name it whatever you can, or choose to, and from there, okay, maybe it's not in there. From there is going to be Nifskope work, which can be found on this site here, which I'm going to have to post those links as well. But we're going to need 2 programs from that point on. It's going to be Material Editor and Nifskope. And this is where the fun begins.